Are you struggling with choosing your niche or landing the plane on your ideal client? Find out why you're struggling with it and what to do about it in this video. And if we don't know each other, I'm Betsy Jordan. I'm a business mentor and a brand messaging and positioning strategist for purpose driven consultants and coaches ready to create a high impact, high income consulting or coaching business that they love. You can learn more about my VIP programs on my website at www.betsyjordan.com. Don't forget, Jordan's with a Y. So I'm going to be honest with you. Growing your own thriving consulting or coaching business is not for the faint of heart. It's the constant dance with the temptation to play small and hold ourselves back because of the visibility that this type of entrepreneurial venture comes with. So it's really, really challenging in general. But one of the biggest places of this type of resistance that most of my clients hit, if not all, is when it comes to choosing their ideal client, which actually is another way of saying your niche. So a lot of people think your niche is like, I just need to choose between one aspect of my strengths or it's my methodology. It's not that. And it's also not some vague pinpoint like anxiety, burnout, or overwhelm. So your ideal client is the single person who represents who your business is designed to serve. And if you had it all your way, you'd fill your client pipeline with this person. So, what it's not a list of everybody that you worked with in the past. It's also not a list of anyone who happens to call you or anybody who's willing to hire a consultant or coach. It's the person you'd most love working with and who's most likely to love working with you and who will pay you what you're worth. So, choosing an ideal client and getting into their heart and mind is some seriously hard strategy and empathy work. But let me tell you why it's so important to do this. When you're really, really clear on who your ideal client is, the problem that you solve, why it matters, how they experience the world, what you're able to do with that clarity is you'll be able to figure out how you stand out in the crowded consulting or coaching marketplace because you'll know exactly who you want to be seen by and why. So there's this whole myth that we have to stand out among everybody else in the market when it's just that we need to stand out to attract the person that we're trying to attract. So it's a very different type of thing. Like you don't have to like stand above the noise of what everybody else is doing. You need to make your messaging and everything so clear that the right person is magnetized to it. Like, yes, this is the person I really want to work with. They're speaking in my language, they're speaking to my heart. Like, how in the world did you get in my mind? You'll also streamline your marketing, sales time and money. It's especially which is great because if you're not a big fan of marketing. If you know what fish you wanna get, you know where to go to fish and what bait you're gonna use. So, that's a huge benefit. One of the ways that I tell my clients when they're trying to figure out, like, who's my ideal client, like, how do I really narrow it down? Because a lot of my clients wanna say leaders, like, I work with leaders. And it's like, "Okay, so let's put it this way." You're gonna get a big networking event. All these leaders are there, and they're all in breakout rooms. Like, the CHROs ROs over there, the COO, the CMO, or a small business like startup person, whatever. They're all in a room, separate rooms. And you've got like 5 minutes to make as many connections as possible. What room are you going to go to? Like, that's the type of clarity when you have your ideal client, like so clear in your mind, like, I know where to go. I know what events to attend, what rooms to go to. The other thing about getting your ideal client super clear in your niche is that you'll be able to write copy easier and faster because when you know who you're talking to, you'll know what messages that they want to hear. You're going to be able to create more relevant products and services and frame them in such a way that they're saying, "Oh my gosh, like where do I sign? These are so irresistible." Like, "Yes, yes, tell me more." You'll definitely reduce your angst about marketing and putting yourself out there because you're going to feel the need in the person that you want to serve. You'll start the right business and get it launched faster. You're going to accelerate your results and your path to sought after expert and thought leader status. So, those are some of the benefits. Have I convinced you yet? Are you convinced that it's time to make a strategic, intentional choice about your ideal client and niche? No? Okay, no worries. So, let me tell you some of the common objections I hear all the time from my clients at first. So, here's one. I'm a consultant or coach. I can help anybody who needs extra expert advice. So, here's a little tough love. No consultant or coach is the perfect fit for every client situation or need. It's really just you're not for everybody, and everybody's not for you. And you don't want to help everyone. If you want to love your business, it begins with loving your clients. So that is a very important first step is to say you don't serve everybody, you serve somebody, and somebody's going to love you more and you're going to love them more. And that's going to make your business so much more fun. If you picture like everybody Everybody who's on your caseload, like if you're looking at your calendar or you're looking at your phone log and it's like, "Yes, I'm so glad that that person called." Yes, you're having a different type of business. Here's another resistant point or things that I hear people say. Like, "If I choose an ideal client, won't I be leaving money and opportunity on the table?" I have to tell you, I made this mistake when I first started my consulting business. Here's the fact. Fact, fact, fact. If you don't choose an ideal client, you will be leaving money and opportunity on the table. Lack of ideal client clarity is the number one reason behind hit or miss marketing results in conversion challenges. So, every single person who does any sort of marketing and branding, they will tell you if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to no one. And if you try to sell to everyone, you're going to sell to no one. So another objection that I hear all the time is, "But Betsy, why do I need to do this? Can't I just go out there and find clients?" And it's like, yeah, you can for a while, but getting out there and finding clients is a lot of hustle. It's one thing to get out there and find a job, get the hustle and you get that one job and that'll serve you for 5 years, but that's not really how you're going to do for how you're going to sustain your business with a predictable client pipeline. Like that's a lot of hustle. And it stops and it works until it stops. And so you know that this is a consultant or coach from all of your business experience. You know the most successful businesses and companies are client centric and they're focused on who they want to serve. And for the clients that you would want to help, you would say you have to get clarity on your target audience. So same thing goes for you. You need to have clarity on who you want to help so that you can scale up what you're doing, you get better results, more leads from organic search and more. Or here's another one. I think I just want to work with companies or any company that wants to hire me and has the budget. This one is packed with so many myths, I'm not even sure where to start. There's this whole idea that organizations have more money to invest, and that high paying, high impact client engagements emerge from this type of mindset and more. So the challenge here is everybody has money, and leaders don't want to work with a consultant who only wants to serve them because they think that they represent like a big paycheck somewhere along the way. Like, they are also really looking at people who share their passion. Like, I could tell you when I have helped my clients, like, really mine through their testimonials, their clients will say, "I wanted to work with this particular person because they really went deep in helping people like me, and I could tell their passion to help me. So that's why I chose them over all the other ones." So, there's a lot of problems with that one, and so going into business just to make money is one of the worst reasons. Like, your clients will feel it or, more accurately, they won't feel it. So here's another one is, what if I serve more than one ideal client? Authentically, that may be true, but I would still say from a marketing and branding standpoint, it's kind of like pick the main one, and other people will fall into your net. And you need to make sure that you're making that choice strategically and not necessarily just kind of trying to scale the two different sides and being double minded because, when you do that, you're going to confuse your results. You're only one person, you're only one brand. So, so hopefully by now you have seen all the benefits that come with it, the resistant points. So now let's talk about how to overcome your analysis paralysis. And it first begins with identifying why you might be resisting choosing a niche. So your resistance is different than fear, I think. Resistance is a masked expression of a loss of control, vulnerability, or self-esteem. So, what is it about landing the plane on this ideal client that's probably right in front of you? The person with the problem that's already reaching out to you for help and that sparks you to compassion and action. Like, what is keeping you from picking this particular one? Or deciding that, you know what, I just want to help somebody like me avoid the mistakes that I've made and get to different level of success faster. So a lot of times your ideal client is just like right in front of you. So you really need to dial in like, why am I holding myself back? Your ideal client clarity will not limit your impact and earning potential, but dramatically increase it. So I cannot emphasize enough. You're going to land work with greater ease. You're going to deliver more results, make the most of your engagements, work less, make more, have a lot more fun. So there's lots of different tactics I do with my clients to help them really pinpoint their ideal clients. So one of the first things I do in my one-on-one program is we do a lot of like data gathering, around your life, like looking at, your calendar and like who's coming to you. We look at your past history, and what type of expertise you developed, your strengths. And what are the people that happen to have been your best clients, maybe as an internal consultant or colleagues that represent your ideal client? Like they're all there. Your clients are around you. We have to see it. So there's all kinds of tactics. But this particular video, I really just want to dial into what might be the resistance that you have to holding your what type of resistance you might have to making this choice. That's what the point of this particular video. The tactics will come when you could overcome the resistance, at least just get to a point where I'm willing to be willing to be in this place of choosing who is the person I really want to help. And I'm doing it from a place of service and a place of excitement rather than letting scarcity and fear take charge over your business and brand building process. So, if you need help figuring this all out, as well as finding the words to describe what you do, how it's different, how to position yourself to attract those clients that you've identified, let's talk. I'm here for you. Request a discovery meeting. You can find out more about how I work with my clients on my website. If you get over to betsyjordan.com, you'll find a big pink button that says request a discovery meeting, and we can get started. So that's it for this video. If you're watching on YouTube and something clicked with you, or this video sparked other questions about growing your business, definitely let me know in the comments. I want to help you. I know that there's a lot that goes into choosing your ideal client in your niche. And make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss any other upcoming videos. And if you're watching this on my blog, be sure to sign up to join my inner circle of purpose driven consultants and coaches. And you'll get the latest on all my videos, my freebies, my episode of my Consulting Matters podcast, special offers, and more. So that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching.